my coworker broke my finger because I reported his overtime fraud. I was sitting in Harborview's emergency room at 3:14 a.m. on Thursday, my left pinky finger swollen purple and throbbing with each heartbeat. The doctor had just confirmed what I already knew. Hairline fracture, 4 to 6 weeks in a cast. My phone buzzed on the plastic chair next to me. Brad had sent a Slack message. Hope you learned your lesson. I screenshotted immediately, my good hand shaking. When I refreshed the app 5 seconds later, the message was gone, deleted, like it never happened. The nurse came back with paperwork, asking if I wanted to file a police report. I stared at her, not knowing what to say. How do you explain that your coworker broke your finger because you reported him for stealing overtime hours? How do you explain that nobody will back you up because they're all scared of losing their jobs? 2 hours earlier, I'd been scanning packages at Dock 7 in the Amazon warehouse. Night shift. Only 5 of us in that section. Brad had walked up to me carrying a bottle of industrial-strength Febreze, the kind we use for returns that smell like cigarettes or worse. Since you won't handle your hygiene, I will. He said it loud enough for Marcus, the security guard, to hear from 20 feet away. Before I could move, Brad sprayed it directly in my face. The chemicals burned my eyes and throat. I grabbed for the bottle, trying to push it away, and that's when he seized my wrist. He twisted hard, yanking my arm at an angle it wasn't meant to go. I heard a small pop, then the pain hit. Nobody's gonna believe you, Brad said, still gripping my wrist as I gasped. I've been here 8 years. You've been here 8 months. Marcus stood there watching. I made eye contact with him, pleading. He turned around and walked toward the break room. Brad let go and I stumbled backward, cradling my hand against my chest. My pinky finger was already swelling. The Febreze smell clung to my uniform, making me gag. This wasn't random. Last week, I'd reported Brad to HR for clocking in Tyler when Tyler wasn't even at work. Overtime fraud. Brad and his friends had been doing it for months, rotating who was sick while collecting extra hours. HR said they were looking into it, then nothing. I pulled up Slack on my phone while waiting for the x-ray results. The Night Shift Warriors group chat told the whole story if you knew where to look. 3 months of escalating comments about my body odor. It started subtle enough. Someone needs better deodorant from Tyler in September. Then Brad in October. How is she not embarrassed? By November, it was constant. I can smell her from receiving. Maybe warehouse work isn't for everyone. Some people just don't care about their coworkers. They knew about my medical condition. I'd told our supervisor Janet 2 months ago when the comments started. Bromhidrosis, chronic body odor triggered by the hormonal chaos after having my son Aiden 10 months ago. My body still hadn't balanced out. I'd tried 4 different prescription antiperspirants, spent $180 I didn't have on treatments that barely helped. Janet's response? Maybe warehouse work isn't for everyone. The same phrase Brad used in the group chat 2 days later. The pattern was obvious now. The harassment started exactly 1 week after I'd reported the overtime fraud. Every cruel comment, every accidental bump in the aisles, every time someone left air fresheners on my workstation, it all traced back to that report. But patterns don't matter without proof, and Brad was right. 8 years versus 8 months. His friends versus me alone. My word against his. The nurse returned with more forms, medical leave paperwork, 5 to 7 days minimum for a finger fracture, she explained. I looked at the signature line and my stomach dropped. I was part-time. No paid medical leave. I did the math in my head. Missing a week meant losing $950. Rent was $1,200 and due next Tuesday. I had $247 in checking. Aiden's formula cost $140 a month. He had to eat. The electricity bill was already past due. My phone showed 3:47 a.m. now. In 3 hours, I was supposed to clock in for my Friday shift. Same warehouse, same section. Brad would be there, probably laughing with Tyler and Marcus about how I'd fallen and hurt myself being clumsy. I looked at the papers again, sign them and lose my apartment. Don't sign them and go back to face Brad tomorrow morning, knowing he'd won, knowing it would get worse, knowing that nobody, not Janet, not HR, not even Marcus, who saw everything, would back me up. Ma'am? The nurse was waiting. Do you need more time? I needed more than time. I needed a job that didn't break my body. I needed coworkers who didn't punish me for doing the right thing. I needed health insurance that actually covered my medical condition. I needed so many things I wasn't going to get. My finger throbbed as I picked up the pen. I didn't sign the papers. By 7 a.m., I was back in my apartment in Rainier Valley, my finger throbbing as Aiden screamed from his crib. Mrs. Chen from next door was already knocking. She'd watched him overnight when I texted her about the emergency room. She stood in my doorway in her housecoat, hand out. $40. I counted out 2 20s from my wallet. That left me $207 total. Mrs. Chen took the money without asking about my cast, just shuffled back to her apartment. Aiden needed a diaper change and formula. I did it all one-handed, the cast making everything take twice as long. While he drank his bottle, I called Amazon's HR hotline. The hold music played for 53 minutes. I know because I watched every minute tick by on my phone screen. Human Resources, this is Patricia. I need to report a workplace injury and assault. Please file an incident report through the employee portal online. Investigations typically take 10 to 15 business days. Can I work a different shift in the meantime? Away from the person who assaulted me? Schedule changes require supervisor approval. Have you spoken with your direct supervisor? She's not responding to my texts. Then I suggest trying again during business hours. Is there anything else? Patricia hung up before I could answer. Janet hadn't responded to any of my 7 texts since 4 a.m. I knew she'd seen them. The read receipts showed it. I shifted Aiden to my good arm and opened Facebook. The Single Mothers Seattle group had been my lifeline since his dad disappeared. I typed out a post. Anyone dealt with assault at Amazon warehouse? Coworker broke my finger. HR isn't helping. Within an hour, 3 comments appeared. Which warehouse? Georgetown, I replied. Night shift? Tall guy? Divorced? Big Seahawks tattoo on his forearm? My stomach dropped. Yes. That's Brad. He's why I quit 6 months ago. Get out now. A message request popped up from Jennifer Martinez. I accepted it immediately. Brad grabbed me in the freezer section last February, bruised my whole arm. When I reported it, Janet said I must have misunderstood his intentions. Marcus was there, said he didn't see anything. HR investigation went nowhere. I had to quit. No unemployment because I left voluntarily. Lost my apartment. Living with my mom in Tacoma now. He broke my finger, I typed back. He's escalating. Sarah, please listen. It will get worse. He has friends everywhere in that warehouse. The system protects him. Get out. I couldn't get out. I had $207, no savings, and rent due in 4 days. Getting out was a luxury I couldn't afford. At 2 p.m., I drove to the warehouse with Aiden in his car seat. Couldn't afford a sitter. Janet's office was in the administration building, separate from the main warehouse. I carried Aiden in his carrier, my broken finger screaming every time I bumped it. Janet sat behind her desk, dark circles under her eyes like always. She looked at Aiden, then at my cast, then back at her computer screen. Sarah, Brad told me you attacked him with a package scanner. What? I shifted Aiden's carrier to the floor, pulled out my phone with my good hand. I have medical documentation. He broke my finger. Janet sighed like I was causing her problems by existing. He says you fell. Marcus backs up his story. I have Slack messages where he threatened. Deleted messages prove nothing. It's your word against his. She closed her laptop with the exhausted movement of someone who'd had this conversation too many times. Look, I have 47 employees and get 6 complaints a week. Someone's always mad at someone. I'm not saying you're lying, she continued, though her tone said exactly that. But Brad's been solid for 8 years. Never had issues before. That was a lie. Jennifer had just told me about her complaint. But I couldn't say that without revealing Jennifer, and she'd been clear about staying anonymous. Take the week off, Janet said. Unpaid, obviously, since you're part-time. Come back Monday. I'll move you to returns processing. Returns processing, the worst section. And the pay dropped from $19.50 to $17 an hour for that position. I did the math quickly. That was $400 less per month. Janet, I can't afford. It's that or nothing. Your choice. I picked up Aiden's carrier. He'd started fussing, probably hungry again. Janet was already reopening her laptop, dismissing me without words. In the parking lot, Brad's black F-150 was parked right next to my Honda. No other cars near us in the massive lot. Under my windshield wiper was a folded paper. Smart choice taking time off. No signature, but I recognized Brad's handwriting from the shift reports. My hands shook as I buckled Aiden into his car seat. He was watching, somewhere, making sure I knew he could get to me anytime. I drove straight to urgent care with Aiden. Dr. Park, a young resident, examined my finger under the harsh fluorescent lights while Aiden fussed in his carrier. She gently rotated my wrist, and I winced when she touched the purple marks. These bruises are consistent with grab marks. She looked at me carefully. Do you want me to document this as assault? I knew what that meant. Police reports, lawyers I couldn't afford, court dates I couldn't miss without losing my job. Brad's cousin in HR, making sure I never worked at any Amazon facility again. Just write injury at work, please. Dr. Park gave me that look, the one that said she'd seen this before. She typed for a long moment, then turned the screen so I could see. 2 entries. One said workplace injury. The other documented bruising consistent with forceful grabbing, patient declined police involvement. Both versions will be in your medical record, she said quietly, in case you change your mind. At the pharmacy counter, the prescription painkillers were $45 with my insurance. I counted the cash in my wallet again. $162 after paying Mrs. Chen. Rent was due in 3 days. Just regular Tylenol, I told the pharmacist. That evening, while Aiden napped, I scrolled through Facebook. My post in the mom group had 12 new comments, mostly sympathy and useless advice about lawyers I couldn't afford. Then I saw it. Brad had posted in the Public Warehouse Workers Seattle group. Some people can't handle physical work. Blame others for their clumsiness. Warehouses aren't daycares. Just saying. 23 likes already. Tyler, Marcus, 2 other night shift guys I recognized. They all knew exactly what he meant. At 11 p.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Is this Sarah? I'm Monica from Swing Shift. I sat up straight. Yes? I saw what Brad did to you. I was behind the shelving unit doing cycle counts. My heart started racing. You saw him grab me? I recorded 37 seconds on my phone. You can hear everything. Him saying that thing about hygiene, the sounds of the struggle, you saying he's hurting you. Monica, oh my God, this could... But I need this job. Her voice cracked. I have 3 kids. My ex doesn't pay support. I can't testify. I can't have Brad coming after me like he's coming after you. I understand, but... I'll send you the audio. You can use it, but you have to promise to keep me anonymous. Swear to me, Sarah. My kids can't lose this income. I swear. The audio file came through 2 minutes later. Even through the muffled recording, Brad's voice was clear. Since you won't handle your hygiene. Then scuffling sounds. My voice high and panicked. You're hurting me? Please, you're hurting me. I played it 3 times, my hands shaking. This was evidence. Real evidence. But Monica wouldn't testify. Jennifer wouldn't come forward. Marcus would lie. Janet wanted it buried. Brad's cousin in HR would make sure any investigation went nowhere. I had proof that could end this. But no witness willing to stand up, which meant I had nothing at all. Monday came anyway. I showed up at 11 p.m. for my first shift back, now assigned to returns processing. The section where damaged items piled up, where you lifted 40-pound boxes all night. Where nobody wanted to work because the smell from returned pet supplies and spoiled food made everyone gag. My finger throbbed inside the cast. I could barely grip packages with my good hand, let alone manage the two-handed lifts required for the heavy stuff. Brad was already there, working his regular section 50 feet away. First hour, he walked past me 3 times. "Oh, sorry," he said on the third pass, after his shoulder slammed into mine. "Didn't smell you coming." Tyler laughed from the next station. Not a real laugh, that nervous sound people make when they don't want to become the next target. At lunch break, I went to grab my sandwich from the break room fridge. Gone. My name was still on the brown paper bag I'd used yesterday, now crumpled in the trash. Empty. "Someone must have been really hungry," Marcus said from the doorway. He was eating a sandwich. My turkey and cheese, I was pretty sure. I found Janet in her office reviewing timesheets. My food was stolen from the fridge. She didn't look up. Buy a lunchbox with a lock. There's cameras in the break room. System was down for maintenance during lunch. She finally glanced at me. Happens sometimes. By week 2, my schedule got changed. Janet sent an email Sunday night. Operational needs require you to start at 4 a.m., effective immediately. Little Stars daycare didn't open until 6 a.m. I knocked on Mrs. Chen's door at 3 a.m. Monday morning, Aiden wrapped in his blanket. $200 extra per month, she said, not even fully awake. Cash up front. I didn't have it, but I nodded anyway. That Friday's paycheck was $1,340 after insurance. Rent was $1,200. That left $140 for groceries, gas, diapers, formula, and now Mrs. Chen's extra fee. The math didn't work. It would never work. I started selling plasma Monday and Thursday mornings after my shift. $70 a week if I went twice. Sat in the chair for an hour each time, letting them drain my blood, spin out the plasma, pump the red cells back in. The needle hurt worse with my cast limiting how I could position my arm. Week 3, I filed an EECC complaint online. The auto response came immediately. Your complaint has been received. Review typically takes 60 to 180 days. You will be notified if additional information is required. 6 months. Might as well have been 6 years. I started recording everything on my phone, voice memos in my pocket during shift. Brad noticed by day 2. "Something smells off in this section today," he'd say when passing, just loud enough for others to hear. Never, "You smell." Always, "Something smells." Coded but clear. The others picked up the pattern. "Yeah, something's definitely off today. Must be the returns. Maybe we need more ventilation." Monica from swing shift, who'd sent me the audio, she transferred to day shift the next week. Saw her in the parking lot Thursday morning as I was leaving. "Monica, hey." She walked past like I didn't exist. Got in her car, drove away without making eye contact. Brad had gotten to her. Made it clear what happened to people who helped me. Week 4, the doorbell rang at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. A woman with a clipboard and a King County badge stood on my doorstep. "Sarah Chen? I'm from Child Protective Services. We received a complaint about an infant in unsanitary conditions." My stomach dropped. "From who?" "Anonymous complaints are taken seriously." She looked past me into the apartment. "May I come in?" She walked through my tiny apartment, checking everything. Opened the fridge, looked in cabinets, examined Aiden's crib, took photos of everything. Aiden started crying, picking up on my stress. "Everything appears adequate," she said after 30 minutes. "But this complaint is now part of your file. If we receive additional reports, we'll need to investigate further." After she left, I sat on the floor and cried. The stress was killing my milk supply. I tried pumping for 20 minutes and got barely an ounce. Formula was $340 a month. My credit card was already maxed from the medical bills. I Googled Payday Loans Seattle and found a place that would give me $500 that night. The interest rate was 400% APR. I drove there anyway. The math was simple. Borrow $500 today, owe $580 in 2 weeks. But 2 weeks from now, I'd need another loan to cover that one. The spiral was starting. But Aiden needed formula tonight, not in 60 to 180 days, when the EEC might possibly review my complaint. The spiral got worse by week 6. I was scanning a pallet of returns when Brad walked past carrying a gallon jug of industrial cleaner, the kind we use for biohazard spills. He tripped or pretended to trip right next to my station. The whole jug splashed across my workspace, soaking into the packages I'd been sorting. The fumes hit instantly. My throat closed up. I couldn't breathe, couldn't even call for help. My chest felt like someone was sitting on it. I didn't know I had asthma, never had it before. But something about those chemicals triggered something that had been dormant my whole life. "Someone help her," a voice called out. Destiny from 2 stations over ran up with her emergency inhaler. Breathe in when I pressed down. The medicine opened my airways just enough. I gasped, coughed, gasped again. Brad stood there watching, the empty jug still in his hand. "Oops," he said. "Slippery floors." Janet showed up 20 minutes later, after I'd been sitting outside breathing fresh air. "If you have respiratory issues, maybe warehouse work isn't suitable for you." "I don't have respiratory issues, the chemical. We can't accommodate every sensitivity." She walked away before I could respond. That night, I made it home at 8:30 a.m. after my shift. Put Aiden down for his morning nap. Sat on the couch to rest my eyes for just a minute. I woke up on the floor. Mrs. Chen was shaking me, Aiden screaming in her arms. "You no answer door for 2 hours. Baby crying so loud." I used emergency key. I'd collapsed, not fainted, just shut down from exhaustion. My body had finally quit. Mrs. Chen stayed with Aiden while I showered with cold water, trying to wake myself up. A paper was taped to my door when I opened it to thank Mrs. Chen. Eviction notice. Pay or quit. I was $200 short on rent. 3 days to pay in full or vacate. The landlord's math was right there in black and white. Rent, $1,200. Paid, $1,000. Balance, $200 plus $50 late fee. 3 days. I posted in the Single Mothers Seattle group that night, not asking for money. I had too much pride left for that. Just asking for advice, legal help, anything. One reply came at midnight. I'm Tanya, paralegal student at UW. I can help you file proper documentation for free. Can't represent you in court, but I know the forms. We met that Saturday at a Starbucks. Tanya was maybe 23, earnest, carrying a backpack full of highlighted labor law textbooks. I brought everything. The medical records, screenshots, Monica's audio file, dates and times of every incident. We worked for 6 hours straight while Aiden played with sugar packets. 47 pages when we finished. Every incident documented with time, date, witnesses. Cross-referenced with my schedule records showing the pattern of retaliation. This is clear harassment and retaliation, Tanya said, organizing the papers. Any judge would see it. So we can win? She hesitated. The system is slow. Best case scenario, 6 months to resolution. That's if Amazon doesn't drag it out with appeals. I don't have 6 months. I know. She looked at Aiden, who'd fallen asleep in his stroller. Sometimes the system works, just not on our timeline. I stared at the stack of papers. 47 pages of proof that Brad was destroying my life. 6 months before anyone would even look at them. The eviction court date was in 2 days. File it anyway, I told her. Because what else was I going to do? Give up? Let Brad win? Let Janet pretend nothing was happening? Let the system that protected him keep protecting him? I'd file the papers. I'd fight the eviction. I'd keep showing up at 4 a.m. to lift heavy boxes with a broken finger while Brad watched and smiled. Not because I thought I'd win, but because Aiden needed me to keep standing. Even if standing was all I could do, standing wasn't going to be enough. Jennifer messaged me that Sunday night. 2 others reached out after seeing your post. Brad did the same thing to them. My heart jumped. Other witnesses, other victims. Maybe together we could. But Maria moved to Texas last year, and Keiko's undocumented. She's terrified of any legal involvement. Can they write statements? I'll write one, but I can't appear in person. I'm working at Target now. Can't risk losing another job. Monday at 4 a.m., something unexpected happened. Danny from shipping pulled me aside during break. He was 22, fresh out of community college, still on his 90-day probation. I've seen enough, he said quietly. What Brad's doing is wrong. Would you testify? He looked at his shoes. I'm on probation for another month, if I rock the boat. I understand. But I've been documenting things. Taking photos when he harasses you. I have 12 pictures of him following you around the warehouse. Brad must have sensed something shifting. By Wednesday, he'd switched tactics completely. Brought donuts for the whole night shift. Helped people with heavy lifts. Joked around like everyone's best friend. Sarah's been stressed lately. I heard him tell Tyler loud enough for everyone to hear. We should cut her some slack. Tough being a single mom. Now I looked like the bitter one. The troublemaker who couldn't take a joke. The one causing problems for nice, helpful Brad. Robert, the swing shift manager, pulled me aside Thursday morning as shifts changed. I believe you, he said quietly, checking to make sure no one was listening. I've seen Brad's pattern, but I can't help you. Why? His cousin Michelle is regional HR director. She oversees 6 warehouses, including this one. The words hit like a physical blow. Brad's cousin, in charge of HR, for the entire region. That's why nothing ever happens, Robert continued. That's why complaints disappear. It's not just Brad you're fighting, it's the whole system protecting him. Week 8. My body started failing. I'd lost 15 pounds since the assault. Couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. The stress made my bronchidrosis 10 times worse. The prescription that used to help now cost $90 a month. Generic version discontinued. I was in the bathroom reapplying regular deodorant for the 5th time that shift when I found the note taped to the mirror. Secret Santa gift exchange. Mandatory participation. Fun for all. Friday night, Janet stood there smiling while we all opened our $5 gifts. Coffee mugs, candy, fuzzy socks. My gift was in a huge box. Everyone watched as I opened it. Industrial size Febreze. Value pack. 6 bottles. The note said, "Thought you could use this. Secret Santa." The room exploded in laughter. Brad loudest of all. Come on, it's funny. Janet stood there, watched everyone laugh at me, said nothing. I walked out, went to the bathroom, threw up, came back to my station. That afternoon, things got worse. I was sorting returns when Brad walked by carrying a box. He tripped right next to me. His hand shot out to catch himself. Pushed me hard into the metal shelving. Then he screamed. She pushed me! She fucking pushed me! Marcus appeared like magic. I saw it. She shoved him when he walked by. That's not what happened. I saw what I saw, Marcus said. Janet arrived within minutes. Sarah, you're suspended pending investigation. Effective immediately. He pushed me. Marcus witnessed you assaulting a coworker. Clock out. Now, no pay during suspension. That was company policy. The rent I still owed. The formula Aiden needed. The payday loan due tomorrow. All of it crashing down. I called Tanya from the parking lot, sobbing so hard I could barely speak. I'll file an emergency complaint with the NLRB tonight, she said. This is clear retaliation for protected activity. How long? Honestly? Months. The system isn't built for emergencies. Eviction court was in 3 days. Suspension meant no paycheck Friday. The payday loan would default, triggering 400% interest. My credit, already damaged, would be destroyed completely. Brad had won. His cousin in HR would make sure the investigation found me at fault. I'd be fired for cause, no unemployment, no references, branded as violent, unstable, a problem employee. I sat in my car, Aiden sleeping in his car seat, and stared at my phone. Jennifer had sent her statement. Danny had sent his photos. Monica's audio file sat in my email. 47 pages of documentation Tanya had helped me prepare, all of it useless against a system designed to protect Brad. I had 2 choices. Walk away now, cut my losses, try to start over somewhere else before this got worse, or keep fighting a system that had already decided I would lose. My phone buzzed. Text from Brad. Smart girls know when to quit. I didn't quit. Eviction court came Tuesday morning. I showed up with Aiden on my hip and Tanya beside me, carrying her backpack full of labor law books. The judge, an older black woman with tired eyes, reviewed my payment history. 8 months of on-time rent, 1 missed payment. 30-day extension granted, she said. Pay in full by then, or vacate. Small win. The clock kept ticking. Walking out of court, my phone buzzed. EEOC automated email. Your complaint has been received and will be reviewed. An investigator will be assigned within 90 days. 90 days. 3 more months of nothing. 2 days later, Janet called. Internal investigation is complete. I sat in her office Friday afternoon while she read from a printed report, finding insufficient evidence of harassment. However, there are concerns about workplace dynamics. Brad broke my finger, alleged. Marcus witnessed you being aggressive. What about Monica's audio? Janet's face didn't change. No such evidence was submitted? Of course not. Monica was protecting herself. I couldn't blame her. However, Janet continued, we're offering you a transfer. Kent facility, same position. That's 45 minutes further. It's this or termination for assaulting a coworker. The Kent facility didn't have night shift differential. My take-home would drop from $2,400 to $2,100 monthly. With the longer commute, extra gas would eat another $200. Factor in the same $1,200 rent, and I'd have even less than before. But the alternative was no job, no income, no formula for Aiden. I'll take it. Meanwhile, I heard through Danny that Brad got promoted to shift lead, $4 raise per hour. He was making more money because he broke my finger. Monday morning, 4 a.m., first day at Kent warehouse. Cleaner building, newer equipment, better lighting, same shit, different location. You must be the transfer, a guy said during break. Kyle, according to his badge. Forklift operator, divorced, probably mid-30s like Brad. Single mom, right? How did you know? We always get the single moms from other warehouses. He laughed. They never last long. This time I pulled out my phone right there, started recording. What do you mean by that? He looked at the phone, then at me. Walked away without another word. Tanya had taught me well. Document everything from minute 1, phone in my pocket recording every interaction, screenshot every message, email myself summaries each shift. Back at the Georgetown warehouse, Brad was apparently telling everyone I was mentally unstable. Danny texted me updates. She couldn't handle the physical work, so she made up stories. Attacked me out of nowhere. Had to get a restraining order because she was obsessed with me. 5 people from night shift believed him completely, posted supportive comments on his Facebook. Some people just can't handle warehouse work. Better off without the drama. 2 people reached out privately. I know what really happened. Brad's done this before. But knowing the truth didn't pay my rent. The new commute was killing me. Leave at 3 a.m. to get there by 4, work until noon. Drive 45 minutes back to Rainier Valley to get Aiden from daycare. Then drive back toward Kent because that's where the only affordable daycare was. 4 hours in the car every day with a baby. By the 2nd week, Aiden had his 3rd ear infection in a month. The pediatrician at the community clinic looked concerned. This much time in a car seat isn't good for babies, she said. The angle can cause fluid buildup in the ears. I don't have a choice. She prescribed antibiotics. Another $40 even with insurance. The gas was eating me alive. $220 that first month. My credit card, already maxed from medical bills, got declined at the pump. I had to choose between gas to get to work or formula for Aiden. I chose gas, watered down his formula to make it stretch, knew it was wrong, did it anyway. 3 weeks into Kent, Jennifer texted me. Brad's targeting another girl. Rosa, new hire, 22, just had a baby. Did you warn her? Tried. She thinks I'm being dramatic. Says Brad's been nothing but helpful. The cycle starting over, fresh victim, same system protecting him. My phone had photos of Kyle making comments, recordings of his single mom jokes, documentation of every interaction. But I knew how this would end. Another investigation that found nothing. Another transfer if I was lucky. Another Brad or Kyle or whoever at the next place. I worked my shift, drove my commute, paid what bills I could. Held Aiden through another ear infection. This was winning, apparently. Still having a job, still having a place to live, for now. Still standing, even if barely. Brad got his promotion and raise. I got my transfer and pay cut. The system worked exactly as designed. 4 months crawled by before the EEC investigator called. Strong pattern of retaliation here, she said over the phone. But Amazon has excellent lawyers. They'll drag this out. So what happens? Realistically, settlement offer, $5,000 to $15,000. That's it? After lawyer fees, if you can find one to take it on contingency, you'll see $3,000 to $9,000. I'd lost $7,000 in wages, spent $1,200 on medical bills, paid $2,400 extra to Mrs. Chen, moved twice. The math was simple. Even winning meant losing money. Jennifer texted me that week. Brad's targeting someone new. Rosa, 22, just came back from maternity leave. Did you warn her? Tried. She said I was being dramatic. Brad's been bringing her coffee every morning, so helpful and funny. Same pattern, same system. Fresh victim. I found a doctor at the community clinic who finally prescribed hormonal treatment for the bromhidrosis. $140 a month. Insurance denied coverage. Cosmetic condition. Appeals process would take 6 months. I paid out of pocket. Couldn't afford to smell at the new warehouse. Month 6. Tuesday morning. Certified letter from Amazon's legal department. Settlement offer. $8,500. 23-page NDA attached. Never discuss Brad. Never mention the incident. Never post about Amazon. Never contact current employees about alleged harassment. Amazon admits no wrongdoing. Tanya reviewed it with me at the same Starbucks. Take it. You need the money. He wins. He already won. This is damage control. I signed. Got the check 2 weeks later. After Tanya's fee for paperwork help, $7,900. Paid back rent. Paid Mrs. Chen. Paid off 1 payday loan. Had enough left for first month at a smaller place in Renton. Found a 700 square foot apartment. $900 a month. 40 minutes from everything. But I could afford it. That week, Brad posted on LinkedIn, Employee of the Month at Georgetown Amazon, professional photo, big smile, holding his certificate. Proud to be recognized for my dedication to team building and warehouse excellence. 47 likes, comments from coworkers. Well deserved. Best shift lead ever. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy? Jennifer commented. Interesting choice. Deleted within an hour. I joined a Facebook group that night. Warehouse workers, real stories, 300 members, all women, different companies, same stories. Target, Amazon, Walmart, FedEx. Some got settlements, most got nothing. Everyone got damaged. It never stops, one woman posted. They just get better at it. Thursday marked 1 year since Brad broke my finger. I was at Costco warehouse by then, union job, 22 an hour, actual HR that functioned. Bathroom breaks without permission, nobody commenting on my body, but strict attendance policy. 3 lates equals termination, no exceptions. Aiden got sick constantly at his new daycare, cheaper place, more kids, more germs. Every cold meant scrambling for coverage. Collections called daily about the ER bill from that night, $1,200 I'd never have. Last week, I saw Brad at Safeway, frozen foods aisle. He saw me first. Sarah, big smile, friendly wave, like we were old friends. How have you been? I grabbed Aiden and left my half-full cart. Today it's raining. My finger aches when weather changes. Hairline fractures heal, but the bone remembers. Permanent reminder every time a storm comes through Seattle. The EEC closed my case last month. No determination. Not enough evidence to proceed. Despite Monica's audio. Despite Jennifer's statement. Despite 47 pages of documentation. Not enough. Brad got promoted again last month. Jennifer keeps me updated. Senior shift lead now, 28 an hour, in charge of training new hires, training them his way. Rosa quit after 4 months, won't talk about why. The cycle continues. But I'm still here. Different warehouse, different struggles, same bills, same exhaustion, rent's paid, food's on the table. Aiden walks now, says mama and no and more, has 4 ear infections behind us and probably more ahead. Some mornings I drive past the Georgetown warehouse on my way to Costco. See the night shift leaving. Brad's truck in the supervisor spot. Wonder about the new girls starting. Wonder if anyone warns them. Wonder if it would matter. Last week, a young woman started at Costco, 23, baby at home, mentioned she transferred from Amazon. Didn't say why. I pulled her aside during break. Georgetown? She nodded. Brad? Her face changed. You too? Year ago? We didn't say anything else. Didn't need to. This is what winning looks like. Still standing, still employed, still paying rent. Brad got his promotions and raises. I got my survival. He broke my finger. The system broke everything else, but I'm still here. That has to be enough, because it's all I have.